welcome to Half the Battle. It's back to the cartoon this week, and we're heading deep into the jungle. The quiet jungle. Yes, today's episode is called Jungle Trap. And we start off with Duke, Scarlet, Rakondo, and Rock'n'Roll meeting a scientist, Dr. Shakur, in a generic Indian city. They have to get him since he turned down an offer from Cobra to work for them, and, well, Cobra Commander doesn't handle rejection well.
Unsubstantiated fantasy! Lies!
Dr. Shakur invented our doomsday device for the day. This one uses lava.
Heard about your experiments to harness the power of molten lava with the Vulcan machine.
Vulcan machine?
Fascinating.
They plan to escort him to a safe place, but Cobra is lurking nearby and they soon ambush them. Cobra manages to grab the doctor and make a run for it, with G.I. Joe hot on their heels.
This alley, it's a shortcut.
Thanks, friend.
Yes, trust that not at all suspicious looking stranger. That's never ever gone wrong. And sure enough, it was Zartan in disguise. What a shock. And the Joes are in trouble. But just then, Snake Eyes joins the fray, and he's actually useful for once. No, really, they really didn't use Snake Eyes as a martial artist in the cartoon all that much. It's refreshing to see. Help arrives for Cobra though in the form of his tanks. And being the brilliant tacticians that Cobra are known for, they shoot at the Joes while the Dreadnoks are right behind them, also in the line of fire. This doesn't seem to faze Zartan, who orders them to continue firing, even though he's also in the line of fire. That's either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. And knowing this cartoon show, I'm gonna go with the latter. Since the enemy appears to be busy shooting at each other, they manage to get away. But the Joes are too late to save the doctor. They figure Cobra must have a base nearby, but they don't know where. Rakondo, the Joes' jungle expert, has an idea though. He's heard of a snake cult that's taken over an ancient temple in the middle of the jungle. Well, of course, if it isn't a castle, it's a temple. You know, Cobra never holds up in a place that's inconspicuous, like, I don't know, an abandoned Walmart or something. Anyway, Dr. Shakur is brought before Cobra Commander. And normally, I don't bring up animation mistakes since there are a fair few, but this one is confusing. In the Cobra Temple, a Crimson Guard escorting the Doctor is mistakenly colored blue, making it look like Cobra Commander is escorting the Doc to meet Cobra Commander. Cobra gets the Doctor to work for them by way of a brainwashing tiara, with a cobra on it because of course. Yeah, subtlety has never really been a strong point for Cobra, has it? I'm actually pleasantly surprised they didn't cover the outside of the temple in Cobra statues like usual. Anyway, the Joes are on their way in helicopters, but they are easily overwhelmed just by the sheer number of fangs that are attacking them, and as a result, they are shot down. Only Wild Bill manages to escape. That leaves the rest of the Joes stranded in the jungle. Meanwhile, Dr. Shakur begins work on the Vulcan machine.
Fascinating.
And Cobra Commander explains this week's plan for world domination.
If any country is foolish enough to resist Cobra, the Vulcan machine will unleash a torrent of boiling lava from the Earth's core, reducing its largest city to charred ruins.
What? I got no complaints here. I mean, it's a pretty decent plan. At least it doesn't involve graffitiing the moon. The Joes are making their way through the jungle on foot, but they are spotted by Cobra and we finally find out why the episode is called Jungle Trap.
It looks like the Fangs did not complete their mission, Commander.
Yes, and I anticipated that possibility. My jungle traps will make their journey quite interesting.
And sure enough, the Joes quickly come across the first trap.
No, don't!
Hey, wait a minute. How the hell do you activate that trap with the press of a button? Something that primitive should be on by default. And why the hell aren't the traps on all the time anyway? I mean, that would make sense. too many questions. Let's move on.
Rock and roll, watch out!
Same thing with that! What the hell did Cobra Commander do to activate the pit trap? I'm thinking that button did something else entirely. The Joes come across a Rhino in a cage and see, finally, a trap that actually requires activation. And as an aside, this Rhino only has one horn, making him an Indian Rhino. It's nice to see that they did research for such a small tidbit. The Joes deal with the Rhino without killing it and resume their trek through the jungle, avoiding more traps. Cobra Commander spots them again though and needs to activate another trap? Then what the hell was the point of the first button? Anyway, this time he releases striped hyenas. These too appear in India, though they aren't nearly as ferocious as depicted here. Then again, Cobra has probably starved them. As the Joes run from the hyenas, Duke gets caught in a trap. He orders the others to leave him behind, but Snake Eyes isn't having any of that crap, and I'm pleased that he gets to be a badass, taking on the entire pack and winning. This also shows that Duke is a real dumbass. I mean, moments ago, he did this.
This'll scare him off.
While Snake Eyes is a bit smarter and at least manages to shoot in their general direction to scare them. Once they're out of the frying pan though...
Hold it right there! Well, well. It looks like what we got here is a couple of GI jungle rats.
Okay, time out. How the hell did those Cobras not manage to see all the Joes on the other side of the riverbank? Okay, so they are swinging from vines, so maybe they decided to hide in the trees off screen, but we never got to see that! They take out the Cobras and steal their uniforms, and did Cobra start cloning people? All those troopers look identical! You couldn't have at least changed some of the hair colors? That's just cheap animation. Anyway, their plan is that Snake Eyes will pretend to be their prisoner, and they'll have Copperhead, that's the driver, take them to the temple. Once there, they'll knock him out, explaining to the guard that he has sleeping sickness, and they infiltrate the base. They arrive just in the nick of time. Well, of course, as Cobra Commander is about to test his new Vulcan machine on Los Angeles. The Joes attack and manage to free Dr. Shakur, but old Ragface has one last play. He can still fire the machine, destroying the United States. Unimpressed, the Joes do what they normally do when confronted with a highly advanced, revolutionary, priceless piece of technology. They shoot the hell out of it. Unfortunately, this causes the machine to aim down at the ground, so when it fires, it brings up a whole bunch of lava, meaning the Joes need to haul ass out of there. Okay, time out again. Cobra Commander has just said that he was gonna destroy the entire United States. Now, that would mean that he cranked the machine up to 11. But in that case, wouldn't the Joes, and more importantly, the entire freaking country of India be monumentally screwed? Nope, for some reason it seems that just the base is screwed. And look, I'm gonna happily gloss over the fact that being that close to lava would mean you'd burst into flames in a matter of moments, to say nothing of the superheated air that would make breathing freaking impossible, because, well, G.I. Joe and the laws of physics, they were never really on speaking terms, were they? But I won't gloss over the most stupid part of this episode, and it's stupid for a couple of reasons. You see, the Joes make it out just as Copperhead is waking up, and they throw him in the damn water. Okay, I'm pretty sure they just killed Copperhead. Because just seconds after they throw him in, lava starts pouring into the water. And yes, I know nobody ever dies in the cartoon. In fact, Copperhead is fine a couple of episodes later. But still, that would have freaking killed him! He's either boiled or burned alive! And that's just the first reason it's stupid. I mean, this guy is a fairly high-ranking Cobra, and they had him at their mercy. Even assuming he'd survived the world's hottest jacuzzi, they could have kept him prisoner and he could spill the beans on loads of Cobra operations, bases, plans. But nope, they just pretend he's a lobster and toss him into the boiling water. And the episode ends with Cobra Commander swearing he'll get them next time, Gadget. My conclusion, I liked it. I really did. Cobra's plan was decent enough, especially compared to some of their previous ones, and there weren't any stereotypes of note. Plus, we got to see some nice character moments with Snake Eyes being a badass. Yeah, I think Snake Eyes is overexposed in the comics, but I also think he's underused in the cartoon, so this episode had some nice moments for him. Also, even though I didn't mention it in the review, Recondo is being able to shine as the jungle expert. It's nice to see the spotlight on a background character for once. It's an episode I definitely recommend you track down. Well, see you next week, everybody.